Are you looking for the best canned pumpkin pie mix at an affordable big box store? What about fruit that you can easily grab off the shelf to have in your cabinet whenever you get a craving? Whatever you're in the mood for, be sure to steer clear of these options. A cold, colorful cocktail is a fun and refreshing drink to have when you're out with friends, but that's not what you'll get with Del Monte fruit cocktail and heavy syrup. Instead, this is a can of mixed fruits like cherries, pineapples, peaches, grapes, and pears, all swimming in heavy syrup. Walmart's website describes it as ideal for a fruit snack, side dish, or fruit salad recipe. This product doesn't contain any preservatives, but Del Monte will have to forgive us as we try to preserve our taste buds. Simply put, there are much better fruit mix options that you can buy or even make yourself. Reviewers have experienced problems like dented cans and an increasing amount of stems in the cans. This fruit cocktail might taste all right, but it's just not worth the hassle. Who doesn't love a hot pot roast? Well, if it's the canned version, we might have a problem. Progresso specializes in canned soups and also sells broths and breadcrumbs. Their light beef pot roast soup contains only 150 calories, as well as half a cup of vegetables, while also being gluten-free. Unfortunately, this beefy soup is mostly just a broth. A 1-star review on Walmart's website writes that it's more like a weak broth with a couple tiny chunks of gristly meat that look like cat food and a few tiny vegetables. Very few. Other reviews back this claim up, noting that this product tries too hard to remain light at the expense of a good soup.
No soup for you!
When you think of good soups, you can't ignore the iconic red and white Campbell's can. From chicken noodle to tomato, Campbell's has had our backs for over 150 years. But with a lineup of so many options available, there are bound to be a few duds. Case in point, the chunky soup, baked potato with steak and cheese. There are some people who actually claim to be fans of this variety, as it has a 4.1 out of 5-star rating on Walmart's website. That may sound fine at first, but it's actually among the lowest-rated canned items in the online catalog. Many customers complain about the lack of steak and note that it has an unpleasant smell. While we love a good steak with baked potatoes, this canned soup definitely doesn't hit the mark for us. During the winter, a hearty beef stew is just what you need to lift your spirits. This warm and filling comfort food is typically packed with beef, carrots, potatoes, and other flavorful ingredients. While homemade stew is great, it can take a while if you slow cook it yourself, so having a tasty canned option is convenient when you can find it. Unfortunately, Dinty beef stew is not one of those tasty options. One can contains 990 milligrams of sodium, which, according to the American Heart Association, is 40% of the total sodium that one person should consume in a day. This also makes for a very salty stew that distracts from the flavor of beef. Not that there's a lot of it to begin with. According to numerous Walmart customer reviews, the recipe for this product has changed, making it less appetizing with much less beef than it used to have. One reviewer even compared it to dog food. So if you can't find any beef stews on store shelves, you better find time to make your own.
Tennessee, get down! We're having a beef boy made!
Chicken and dumplings are a comforting dish that we'd never pass up on the opportunity to indulge in. It's difficult to mess up such a warm and tender meal, so imagine our excitement when we found a can of Sweet Sue chicken and dumplings at Walmart. This bright blue product is labeled as America's favorite, though, alas, we might have to disagree. With a 3.7 out of 5-star rating, this can is generally left untouched in stores. According to the reviews on Walmart's website, some people feel that the broth is watery and lacks seasoning. One customer called it the worst dumpling I ever had. It was more like soup. There are many great comfort foods that come in a can, but this isn't one of them. When something has the words great value in its name, you probably assume that you're getting something great at a great price. There are numerous brands that offer canned chili, so it should come as no surprise that Walmart carries great value chili with beans on its own budget line. You might think that the price is perfectly wonderful, but the same can't be said about the taste. This bean-infused chili is too spicy, and the proportion of beans to beef is inconsistent, with too many beans and not enough beef. While some people enjoy it, many more don't, with one reviewer declaring, The worst chili I have ever eaten from a can. It was super bland, and the meat looked like it was broken off from a baking sheet of dry ground beef. Bad flavored chili isn't something you should ever settle for, so do yourself a favor and don't buy this can. One of the most well-known canned foods is, of course, canned beans. And you don't have to limit yourself to the baked variety, as there are many styles to choose from. But no matter what kind of beans you're in the mood for, you should definitely avoid Old El Paso traditional refried beans. The contents of this can primarily consist of cooked pinto beans and water with a little spice, chili pepper, salt, and other ingredients. Walmart reviewers have noted a decrease in the quality of these refried beans. Many speculate that a new recipe is being used, which results in watery beans that aren't suitable for consumption. As one reviewer put it, "Tonight I opened a can of Old El Paso traditional refried beans and found them to be very watery. I thought it was a bad can, so I opened 2 more, all resulting in the same runny texture, chemical smell, and taste." Unfortunately for Old El Paso, this is not change that we can believe in. No Thanksgiving meal is complete without some green vegetables, and green beans make a perfect pairing with turkey, stuffing, and all the rest. If you're planning on serving the canned variety, though, steer clear of the great value French-style green beans from Walmart. While this item is certainly cheap at only 50 cents on the store website, even the color of the labeling is off-putting enough that it should immediately send customers running away. There is a lot we can say about this can of greens, including that it makes us feel green ourselves. Its color is paler than fresh products, which is somewhat understandable, but the fact that there's no added salt is also a turnoff, as it translates into a lack of flavor. If you want great green beans, this just ain't it.
Being green is kinda cool.
Split pea soup is typically a comforting dish that's also super healthy for you. Normally made with peas, garlic, and other filling ingredients, it's incredible as either a side or a meal on its own. The addition of bacon would usually make any meal taste 10 times better. But in the case of Progresso's green split pea soup with bacon, that's unfortunately not the case. The color of pea soup is already unappealing to many, and the pale swamp on this can's label doesn't do it any favors. This soup has a higher rating than some other products on this list, with 4.2 out of 5 stars. However, this soup leaves us wanting in the bacon department. If bacon is in the name, then we expect a fair amount of bacon. But this can barely has any meat in it, as it's instead more like a standard split pea soup. Reviews on the Walmart website agree with this sentiment, with one insisting, "The peas were hard and there was hardly any bacon." If you're looking for a normal split pea soup, then this will still be a hit or miss. And if you're a bacon fiend, you'll be especially disappointed.
Bacon? Gotta get that bacon!
Poached, peeled, or picked right from a tree, pears are a sweet and juicy fruit that's perfect for desserts, salads, or just as a snack on their own. They may not be as popular as apples, but they're much softer and milder and still just as good. Pears are also healthy and contain vitamin A, niacin, and folate, which translates to strong skin health, cellular function, and energy production. But alas, great value pear halves prove that pears aren't always perfect, especially when they come from a can. This Walmart product contains skinned pears that look a little like raw chicken at first glance. The fruit is covered in a heavy syrup, which only adds more sugar to an already sweet fruit. While some people enjoy these pear halves as dessert, other customers claim that the pears are extremely hard and more like an apple. One reviewer even claimed they're about as hard as a rock, while another declared, "At least 2 halves were so hard that I could not cut them, had to toss them." There are other canned pear offerings at Walmart with much higher ratings, such as sliced pears from Del Monte. If you're looking for a healthy fruit snack, you'd be much better off buying fresh pears. When you were a kid, you may very well have turned your nose up at broccoli whenever it was on your plate. But hopefully, as you grew up, you realized the wonderful culinary opportunities of this vegetable, such as broccoli soup. This hot and creamy concoction is generally served with cheese, making for a deliciously appetizing meal for even the pickiest of eaters. But even if you love broccoli, you might still turn up your nose at Progresso's traditional broccoli cheese soup. And we wouldn't blame you. This canned soup takes everything we disliked about broccoli as kids and offers it in one convenient can. Reviews on the Walmart website are mixed, with many finding it too watered down, with not enough broccoli or cheese. One customer even likens it to a rather unappetizing article of clothing, noting, "Both my wife and I tried a can of this soup. We both agree that there's this overwhelming taste of dirty socks. I tried adding some spices, and it only made it taste like spicy dirty socks." While Progresso does appear multiple times on this list, they still make many delicious soups. So we suggest trying one of those instead. Are you peckish for a pumpkin pie? Even if it's not autumn, it's hard to deny the incredibly addictive flavor of any pumpkin-flavored treats. With that in mind, if you're hoping to make the perfect pumpkin pie, then you'll need a delicious pumpkin filling. If you have your eyes on Libby's 100% pure canned pumpkin, then you should take a moment to think about the decision you're about to make. While Libby's canned pumpkin is all pumpkin and contains no preservatives, it's far from satisfying in the taste department. With only a 3.9 rating on the Walmart website, it's clear that this canned pumpkin leaves way too much to be desired. 1/8 of the product's ratings are one-star reviews, which might not sound like a lot at first, but with almost 900 ratings, that means that more than 100 customers were unsatisfied enough about this purchase to do something about it. Complaints include the pumpkin being watered down or gritty, with one reviewer insisting, "The grittiness in the teeth is pretty gross. If you are making something for a holiday dinner, don't use Libby's." Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more mashed videos about your favorite foods are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.